The wealthy woman stood beneath the bright afternoon sun, surrounded by luxury cars, reporters, and curious onlookers. A mocking smile stretched across her face as she looked at the young mechanic standing in oil-stained clothes. Behind her sat a vintage Rolls-Royce worth more than most people would earn in a lifetime. The engine had defeated experts from across the country, and nobody had managed to repair it. Then, with a smirk that dripped with arrogance, she made an offer that shocked everyone present. If he could fix her beloved Rolls-Royce, she would allow him to marry her daughter. The crowd laughed. The reporters smiled. The rich woman expected humiliation. What nobody knew was that the mechanic would discover a secret buried for more than 20 years, a secret powerful enough to change every life standing in that driveway. Before we begin this emotional journey, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Story House if you believe kindness, second chances, and good hearts can overcome even the greatest obstacles. The mechanic's name was Kieran Holt. He was 29 years old and owned a tiny repair shop on the edge of town. Life had never been easy for him. His father had passed away when he was young, leaving behind nothing except a toolbox and a reputation for honesty. His mother worked long hours cleaning offices to keep food on the table. Growing up poor taught Kieran many lessons, but the most important was never to judge people by their appearance. Despite his modest life, Kieran possessed a rare talent. He could understand machines the way musicians understood melodies. Engines seemed to speak to him. Problems that confused experienced professionals often revealed themselves within minutes when he carefully listened, observed, and thought patiently. The wealthy woman was Vivian Sterling, one of the most powerful business owners in the region. Her luxury hotels and real estate empire stretched across several cities. People admired her success but feared her personality. She had built walls around herself so high that very few people ever saw what existed behind them. Standing beside Vivian that afternoon was her daughter, Serafina Sterling. Unlike her mother, Serafina was gentle, thoughtful, and kind. She volunteered at animal shelters, donated anonymously to local charities, and treated employees with respect. She had met Kieran months earlier when her car broke down near his repair shop. Their friendship had grown naturally. Neither cared about wealth or status. They simply enjoyed each other's company. But Vivian hated the relationship. She believed her daughter deserved someone from high society, not a mechanic who spent his days covered in grease and engine dust. When she learned how serious their relationship had become, she devised a plan she believed would permanently separate them. The Rolls-Royce became her weapon. The vehicle was a rare collector's model inherited from her late husband. For years, specialists had attempted to solve a mysterious mechanical issue hidden deep within its engine system. Every expert failed. Vivian expected Kieran to fail too. She expected embarrassment. She expected her daughter to finally move on. Instead, Kieran calmly accepted the challenge. The following morning, under clear daylight skies, the Rolls-Royce arrived at his small workshop. People gathered outside. Word had spread quickly. Many expected entertainment. Some expected disaster. Kieran ignored them all. He focused entirely on the car. Hour after hour, he inspected every component. He studied wiring diagrams, examined engine parts, and reviewed maintenance records dating back decades. At first nothing made sense. The symptoms contradicted each other. The evidence pointed in different directions. Even Kieran began doubting himself. Days passed. Then a week. The pressure intensified. Customers whispered. Reporters occasionally appeared. Vivian confidently told friends that failure was only a matter of time. Meanwhile, Serafina continued supporting Kieran quietly. She brought him coffee during long afternoons. She encouraged him whenever exhaustion appeared on his face. Most importantly, she believed in him when others didn't. That faith became his motivation. One bright afternoon, while reviewing old service documents stored inside a hidden compartment beneath the dashboard, Kieran noticed something unusual. Several pages were missing. Not damaged. Not lost. Removed intentionally. The discovery puzzled him. Why would someone erase part of a vehicle's maintenance history? His curiosity grew. He carefully searched deeper. Eventually he found a sealed envelope tucked behind a panel near the glove compartment. The paper inside had yellowed with age. The handwriting belonged to someone named Arthur Sterling, Vivian's late husband. What Kieran read changed everything. The letter wasn't about the car. It was about a child. 22 years earlier, Arthur had secretly donated millions of dollars to support orphan children after discovering that he himself had grown up in an orphanage. He never revealed this truth publicly because he feared it would damage the family's social standing. Even more shocking, the letter revealed that Vivian knew about his past but had spent years hiding it from everyone. Kieran sat silently, stunned. The wealthy family that appeared perfect had built its image on secrecy and pride. But there was more. Arthur's letter described how he wanted their daughter to grow up valuing character over status. He feared that wealth would eventually blind his family to what truly mattered. As Kieran continued investigating, he realized the hidden documents connected directly to the car's mysterious problem. Years earlier, modifications had been made to the vehicle by Arthur himself. The missing records concealed those changes. The solution suddenly became clear. After days of careful work, Kieran repaired the final component and turned the ignition key. The engine roared to life. Smooth. Powerful. Perfect. For a moment he simply stared. Then relief washed over him. He had done it. News spread quickly throughout town. People rushed to witness the impossible. The mechanic nobody respected had repaired the car that defeated experts. Even Vivian appeared surprised when she arrived at the workshop. The Rolls-Royce performed flawlessly. The challenge was complete. The crowd expected celebration. Instead, tension filled the air. Vivian had made a public promise. Now everyone waited to see whether she would honor it. Yet Kieran wasn't thinking about marriage. He was thinking about the letter. The secret. The truth hidden for decades. Later that afternoon, he requested a private meeting with Vivian. Inside her enormous estate, sunlight poured through floor-to-ceiling windows as he carefully placed Arthur's letter on the table. The color drained from Vivian's face. For several moments she couldn't speak. Years of carefully protected secrets suddenly sat exposed before her. Tears slowly appeared in her eyes. The sight shocked Kieran. The woman known for arrogance and control suddenly looked fragile. Human. Broken. She explained that after Arthur died unexpectedly, she became obsessed with protecting the family's reputation. Fear controlled her decisions. Fear of judgment. Fear of losing status. Fear of appearing weak. Over time those fears transformed her into someone she barely recognized. She pushed people away. Built emotional walls. Measured worth through wealth instead of character. Even her opposition to Kieran came from that same fear. She wasn't protecting her daughter. She was protecting an image. For the first time in years, Vivian admitted the truth aloud. And the truth hurt. Outside, Serafina waited anxiously. When mother and daughter finally spoke that evening, emotions poured out that had remained buried for years. Old misunderstandings surfaced. Painful memories emerged. But healing began too. Sometimes the hardest conversations become the most important. Over the following weeks, Vivian changed in ways nobody expected. She visited charities her husband once supported. She reconnected with former friends she had neglected. She spent more time listening and less time controlling. The transformation wasn't immediate. Real change rarely is. But it was genuine. For Kieran, life continued moving forward. His workshop became busier than ever. People admired his talent, but what mattered most was something else entirely. He had earned respect without compromising who he was. He remained the same humble mechanic. The same hard-working son. The same honest man. Months later, during a beautiful sunny afternoon, a charity event was organized in memory of Arthur Sterling. Hundreds attended. Children from orphanages arrived. Community leaders participated. Families gathered. The atmosphere felt joyful and hopeful. Near the center of the event stood the fully restored Rolls-Royce. Not as a symbol of wealth, but as a symbol of truth. A reminder that appearances often hide deeper stories. As speeches concluded, Vivian publicly revealed Arthur's background and his lifelong mission to help vulnerable children. The crowd listened in silence. Many expected judgment. Instead, they responded with admiration. Arthur's story inspired people. His origins didn't diminish his achievements. They made them more meaningful. Vivian finally understood what her husband had always known. Character matters more than status. Kindness matters more than image. Love matters more than pride. That realization changed everything. Several months later, beneath a bright daytime sky filled with warmth and celebration, Kieran and Serafina were married. The ceremony wasn't held in a luxury ballroom. It took place in a beautiful garden surrounded by family, friends, and many children supported through Arthur's charitable foundation. Laughter filled the air. Hope filled every heart. Vivian watched from the front row. Tears glistened in her eyes. Not tears of sadness. Tears of gratitude. Because the young mechanic she once looked down upon had given her something more valuable than wealth. He had given her the truth. As the ceremony continued, many guests reflected on the extraordinary chain of events that brought everyone together. A challenge meant to humiliate. A car that seemed impossible to repair. A hidden letter. A long-buried secret. Each piece had led to this moment. Not by accident, but through courage, honesty, and persistence. If this story has touched your heart so far, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Story House. Your support helps spread inspiring stories of hope, love, and second chances to people around the world. Glowing star special request, comment below, character is worth more than wealth. As the sun slowly lowered across the afternoon sky, casting golden light over the celebration, Vivian looked toward the restored Rolls-Royce one final time. For years she believed the car represented prestige. Now she understood its true value. It had carried a secret. A lesson. A second chance. And sometimes life works in remarkable ways. The obstacle meant to divide people becomes the bridge that unites them. The challenge meant to expose weakness reveals strength. The secret hidden in darkness becomes the light that guides everyone forward. And in the end, the mechanic who was asked to fix a Rolls-Royce ended up repairing something far more important, a family, a broken heart, and a future that almost slipped away forever.